All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Funded Trader interview. On this one, we have joining us. He has just done the most money, I think, on his account out of any trader. So he has made about 100K on his account. For those that don't know, the Funded Trader is a funding firm. We evaluate a challenge, and if you guys make it through our two-step, two-phase challenge, we will allow you to trade our capital and get profit split. So at this point, are you qualified for 80% or 90% payouts?
80% for right now.
Yeah, so he has a funded account, so he's qualified right now for 80% payouts. You can go up to 90% once you do demonstrate it consistency and get onto the scaling plan. But welcome, to the interview. It's good to have you here.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
So where are you from? Where are you located? What's your name? Give us a little background about yourself.
Yeah, you got it. So my name is Art. I'm originally from Ukraine, but I moved to US about 20 years ago. So I'm located in Michigan now. It's nice and cold here, man. We just got some snow. So I've been trading forex for on and off for about 5 years, but within the last year, I really got into it. Started really taking a deep dive and seeing why wasn't I profitable before, right? Because I was on and off, I would win some, would lose some, but really there was no consistency. So this year I was determined to, hey, let's find out what's going on. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's make sure it can be the best I can be.
So you say that it like this was kind of the year that you took a step back and you were like, yeah, let me evaluate, kind of what I'm doing. What kind of sparked that? Like, what were you doing? Were you taking funded challenges? Were you blowing accounts? What was kind of going on at that point when you were still struggling a little bit?
So when I was struggling, I was trading my own accounts, right? I mean, it was nothing big, 500 bucks or something like that, something small, just to make sure consistency was there. I could never get my consistency going. I think that's the biggest problem, right? People have these small accounts, they win a little bit, like, oh, awesome, yeah, let's risk more, and then they blow the account, right? So
Right.
there's really risk management consistency is lacking. And I think that's the biggest problem that most people have, and that's the problem that I had. So I took a step back. I wanted to see, hey, let's find out what's going on. What am I doing wrong? Let's find out. And I love the idea of prop firms, right? Not risking much of your own money for a possibility of trading large accounts. If you have your stuff on point.
Right. So that's actually an interesting point. So you never, or you were continuing to risk like a very small account until you yourself saw some consistency in your trading. So you were being pretty disciplined in the sense that you weren't like continuing to deposit more money, even though you were losing. Even you might have had a little stretch where all of a sudden you were like profitable for like a week or 2 weeks, and you never went ahead and was like overshot, like, okay, let me put more money into this account. Let me try to scale this. That's what a lot of people do. And that's
Right.
ultimately how you lose a lot of money is you win small, right? You win a little bit. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, it's time to go big. Right. But
All
that's,
in, baby, and
yeah,
you blow
it's,
it.
it's like literally the paradox. It's like the gambling paradox. Like, oh, I won a little bit. Let me risk everything now. Like
Right.
so it's good to see that you didn't risk much. Like, not to say that you didn't obviously lose money, but it wasn't anything astronomical because you did have some sort of discipline when it come to that. And then at one point, so you were kind of trading these small accounts, and then what, you saw some consistency. How long did you see the consistency over, for like what period of time before you kind of started to get really confident in it?
So it was a few months. I'm not sure exactly in time frame. I didn't keep track day by day, but it was a few months. I saw consistency. I was like, hey, let's try a prop firm. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a go, and let's
Right.
see what if I can make that happen.
What's the first firm that you signed up with?
FTMO, right?
FTMO.
Probably
Okay.
one of the
And
ones that was out there forever.
right. And what happened with that?
I was successful. I did get my first payout from there, but then I blew the account. And I had a couple bad trades, and all of a sudden I went on tilt, risked too much, blew the account.
Did you blow the account from hitting like the max drawdown or hitting the daily?
Max drawdown.
Hitting
Right.
the max.
It
Yeah.
was like a week stretch where I just my trades weren't going my way. It seems like every trade I would take, it would go wrong. I would stop trading for the day. I'm back again, clear my head. And again, same thing. So, I mean, everybody has those days, everybody has those weeks. There's no
Yeah, it's
trader out
crazy
there
how
that,
one week can compound, especially on the funded accounts, and can really push you out. And then all of a sudden it's like, damn, I lost 5 trades in a row. Maybe you risked, too much on those trades, and then you only have like 2% left to make up for everything.
right. And
Yep.
if you have that 2% left, it's really hard to come back and climb your way back out.
Yeah, the
No,
odds at
right,
that point are very low, right?
right.
Now, let's take a step back. Where did you kind of get started with Forex? You said you've been in this for 5 years. So take me back to when you first kind of got into everything.
you know, um, what I loved about Forex, probably on Instagram, most likely is where I saw it, right? Because everybody knows the stock market, right? And I was always fascinated by these guys looking at charts and making money. And then one day I was doing research and I saw, look at that, there's a thing called Forex, and it's open 24 hours a day for 5 days a week. Oh man, I can see, and there's so much liquidity in it. Oh, I was blown at that point. I was like, wow, that's where I want to be. And
Right.
from there, from then on, it was all about Forex.
Now, so you found out about it on Instagram. A lot of people are finding out about it on Instagram, YouTube. What's like kind of the first thing you did? Did you, get some free material? Did you buy a course? What was like kind of your first step? First
Right.
step.
So baby tips, right?
Right.
And I think that was the first step, and then YouTube videos. I mean, there's just so much content out there that you can find, but again, at the same time, not a lot of it is crap.
Yeah. What's
So
like
it's
one
hard.
What's like one tip you'd give to someone? There's probably someone watching this right now. Maybe they just found out about Forex. Now all of a sudden they're getting into, prop firms, trying to check them out. What's like one tip you'd give for someone who's, just kind of new to all this?
Take it slow. Don't rush into it. Don't think after a week of studying you will go in, jump head first, and deposit money and start trading. Take it easy. Make a demo account. Practice, practice, practice. I mean, you can always make another demo account, but if the real money, you blow it, you have to you have to refill it.
Yeah. See, I agree. It's so hard for someone to hear like take it slow, right? Because everyone talks about, oh, you got to think big, and you got to, you can accomplish in 10 days what you could in 90 days. You know what I mean? Like all this like optimistic thinking, right? Now, you should certainly have optimism about trading. Like, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you should just be very realistic. It's like any other skill that you're gonna acquire. It's like, you put on a pair of ice skates for the first time, you're not gonna all of a sudden be skating backwards and doing circles all over the place, right? So it's going to take a certain level of experience in order for your mind, your body to adjust to what you're doing. Obviously, in the case of trading, it's more just it's all mental. I'd hope no one's doing anything physical in their room doing any weird stuff, but no, it's all mental, right? So you have to really give yourself time to adjust to what's going on. And like you said, the best way to go about that is to do a demo account, is to set up potentially a trial challenge for yourself, start simulating these live environments. And then obviously at some point you've got to hop in and you got to start trading live. Right. But the point is you don't got to go big. Like you could trade with a couple $100. And we talk about this in our trading community. You could trade with a couple $100, $300, $200, and you can gain valuable experience as long as you're putting into perspective like what is to come. Like, right, you're treating that 200 $300 like you treat a funded account potentially, right, or something like that.
Right.
You don't need to risk this money, and then all of a sudden when you are ready, you don't need to fund your account with 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, right? You can just buy one of these challenges, when you're ready to go, and then as long as you actually are profitable, have consistency, you will pass. And then at that point, all of a sudden you're managing a lot more money than you would have been, right? So
Right.
it's a gradual process. Like you said, you should take it slow. and just, take it one step at like that's what I would say to any beginner as well, is it's like take it one step at a time, don't get over ahead of yourself, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And
Oh yeah, for
for
sure.
you, so you said over the course of about 4 years or so, you were like struggling. Were you trading like regularly, or was it kind of like an on and off thing?
It was on and off type of deal. I mean, I had a job, I have a family, I have a lot of stuff. I didn't have time to trade just to trade, just to be a full time trader. So it was on and off. Trade for a week, and then 2 weeks later, I'll come back and trade again, and so on and so forth.
Are you still working, a job full time?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
full time job. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So what when it comes to trading the account, how do you kind of walk us through like what your day is kind of like with trading?
So I have two small kids. I have a baby 6 months old, and I have a 3-year-old. So baby wakes up for feeding about 2-3 o'clock. Perfect time for me to go and trade London session. And then same type of thing. Everybody has a phone, right? Smartphone. Most people have a smartphone these days, and you have your MP4 on there. You have your charts, you have trading view. You can always look at charts, set alerts if you need to. Um, the way I trade is I trade off of support resistance. So I set my alerts, and when it touches my support resistance, I'll get a notification. I open up my phone, I take a look at it, I go, okay, yeah, maybe it's a good opportunity for a trade. So, I mean, I trade at night, I trade New York session, London session, you name it. I trade it all.
And I look at like what you said about waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. Some people look at that like, oh shit, I gotta wake up in the middle of the night, feed this kid, shit, whatever. But you're looking at it from a point of optimism, right? You're looking at it as an
Right.
opportunist. You're like, all right, I have to wake up anyway, so I might as well turn this into some way that I can take advantage of, this time, right? You're up anyway. The London session's right at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. So you might as well hop on. So kudos to you, obviously, for kind of figuring that out, not having like the opposite mentality, of that, looking at it as
And
like a negative. And
mentality is everything, man.
so these trades, so for everyone again watching, you're up about like 100K on what account do you have right now? Is it
It's at
200?
200,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 200. So he's up about 50% on the 200,000. What session did you hit these trades in?
So for the most part, it was from London to New York session. Open up London session to New York session, close of New York session. And I was trading Nasdaq, Nas 100. And when we go into it, I'll show you exactly where I took the trades and my markups and those things. That's uh, obviously I still trade irregular pairs. I love GBP, JPY, but that particular opportunity came with Nasdaq, and I saw it. It was there. I just had to take it.
Yep. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna in the second here, we're gonna have him pull up his dashboard. We're gonna look at the account. We're gonna get into some strategy talk in here. Have you, before we do that, have you gotten any
Yeah.
withdrawals from us this far?
No, it will be a first one.
Damn, what a first withdrawal.
Right. Now I was close. So there's a funny story, right? So I had a funded account last month with you guys. It was a 400K account, and I brought it up to 40K in profit. Then I got cocky. I got cocky. I took a couple bad trades, and one day, it just went and tilt, and I blew that account. So, risk management is everything, guys. If you're watching this, risk management is everything. Don't overtrade. Don't be stupid like me.
Yeah, we've seen that a bunch of times where people will just slowly grind up, make some big wins, and then all of a sudden it's like within 3 4 days you just start blowing everything because you're revenge trading. You're getting into all these trading emotions, and you're not doing what you originally set out to do, right? You're just risking
Right.
it all in hopes of really what, right? I mean, the thing you're hanging on to is the money that you had, quote unquote, in the account, right? But at the point at which you give up on doing that, most times you either blow the account, or you're back down to like zero or a very little amount. So
Right.
I think one thing for anyone out there that is trading, maybe that's been in Art's position too, is it's like you just got to continue to recognize these patterns, and identify these emotions. And when they kick in, it's hard, but you got to either delete the app, get the MT4 off the screen, like you got to leave and let it be, because it's very tempting to continue to trade. And then over trading is what causes most of these losses at the end of the day.
Right. Set a set of rules, type them out, write them out, tape them on your forehead if you have to, tape it on your mirror. So tape it on your computer every time you would go in, open up your MT4. It's like it's there. Like don't overtrade. You risk, 1-2%, whatever you're risking. Don't overtrade. Make that set of rules and stick to them. I know it's easy to say, but it's so hard to do. And hey, I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow the rules all the time, and I think that's my biggest issue, right?
So what's your set of rules here? You're talking about what's like the strategy. Give us like a quick kind of overview of it.
All right. So for me, the rules are 3% for the day. That's what I'm willing to risk per day. 3%, 1% per trade. That's where I try to be. 1 to 2%, but for the most part, I risk 1% and 3% total per day.
Okay.
And those are the biggest ones.
So those are when it comes to like your risk management plan, you're really risking 1%, you're trading 3%. Are you use the lot size calculator at all?
Yeah, Nash lot size calculator is awesome. I love that thing. I've
Yeah, for
used it
those.
before, even before you guys become a broker. As your broker for the prop firm, I use them. I use that calculator.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Nash Markets, which is one of the brokers that we offer and is the broker for the funded accounts, they have a lot size calculator out there. It's like the simplest concept, but there's not many out there that work that well. And if you're trading the funded accounts or you're trading the challenges, it makes a lot of sense to use a lot size calculator that's pulling from the actual, the broker you're trading in, right? So it's going to give you those prices that you're actually trading as well. So yeah, you could check out the lot size calculator. I'll actually post a link to that down below. Everyone that's trading, unless you only trade, even if you only trade one pair, I mean, you really should be using a lot size calculator every single time you enter a trade. That's how you put together a plan, right? You shouldn't guesstimate, because every single dollar here and there over the course of a year, really adds up. So you want to start to think like on a larger scale. So it's good to hear that you're using the lot size calculator. Let's talk about the strategy a little bit. What are you kind of looking for here?
So for me, over the years, my strategy is very simple. Right, I look at the trend. I trade out of support resistance. Break of support, retest, then I take my trade, or break of resistance, retest, I take my trade. So mine is very simple, and so far, I mean, it's been working for me. So
How did you kind of get confident in this strategy?
uh, honestly, I'm not confident.
Oh
you
man.
know, you can only be as confident as you want to be, but then market's gonna tell you screw you, and you'll do whatever it wants to do, right?
Right.
But that's where risk management comes in. So backtesting, all go back 1 year, 2 years, and do your research, right? Do your research, do your backtesting. That's the only way to learn, right? Demoing backtesting. That's what I think
Now,
is
when
the
you
key.
when you conduct, a back test, do you try to simulate like trading within a session, certain times? Like how kind of like serious are you when you're actually running through and like doing a back testing session?
So when backtesting, right, I use TradingView and I use the replay button. So I don't look at the session. Let's say it's New York, it's end of New York session, but it's touching my points where I'm willing to enter the trade. I'm not looking at that. Hey, there's a possibility, right? There's going to be slower volume if it's end of New York, but I'm confident if it's touching, break, like I said, break of support, retest, I'm gonna enter that trade.
It's pretty simple. It sounds like the plan is pretty simple here
Yeah,
of,
keep it super simple. That's
of what you look for. So do you use like fundamentals? Do you use any EAs or anything?
I don't use EA's fundamentals. Obviously, I look at the news, and that's I think part of the reason why I did very well with this account was because of the news. Right, we have the FOMC meeting, which shut up Nasdaq out of this world, and then it stopped exactly where my markups was, and I knew that hey, I had to take it's gonna melt from there. I was 90% confident that it was going to melt. So I took my positions and just let it go the whole day. And I think the biggest position I traded zero point 0.5 because that's the max you can trade for per position, at least for right now until your broker comes out. But
Mhm.
I took it at about 9 o'clock in the morning and I closed it at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It was like 30,000 just on one trade.
Yeah, that was a huge trade that you hit. So it was really around the combination of support and resistance, putting down some levels, and then looking at the news. So a little like little combination of both. And you're only you said trading Nas 100, or you trade some forex pairs too.
So I trade forex. If there's, I look at the trades. I have my pairs. Something. If the opportunity is there, I'll take it. But in this particular instance, on this account, most of my profits was from asset.
Nice. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Let's pull up your dashboard and pull up some charts here, and we'll kind of go through these trades, your account, and the strategy a little bit.
All right, awesome. Okay, so here we are, right? Account equity 306. So again, it's a 200,000 account, 106 up. Been trading for 10 days. I mean, as you can see, right, my win and loss ratio. I mean, my loss ratio is pretty high, but again, it's all about risk management, right? It's all about you're risking 1% to make 5%. You're golden. You're solid.
Right.
Um, so let's see. Where is it? Account history that I go to for?
Yeah, account history. So I see
Okay.
you got some GBP JPY trades. So it looks like these
Yeah, I
are
mean,
from the sixth.
these are from the sixth, so I think I have to go all the way back here.
Yep.
Probably like 13, 14, and 17.
Yeah,
What
we
was
got
17? 17th was Friday, so Thursday. There we go. 16. All right.
yeah. So as you guys can see, he's got a bunch of winners
Yeah.
on here. He's
So
got this the 17, the 30.
so yeah, obviously, there's some small ones, there's some big ones. There's big Nasdaq 7,000 loss, right? And that was, I believe, due to news. Yeah, it's went my way, and I was in Costa. I didn't have a take profit set by the time I opened up my own that stuff. That shit shut
Mhm.
up. So okay, so let's get into the Thursday, right? The biggest day that I've had. I believe I made 95,000 on third profit. So let's see here. So the 17th, here we are. Okay. So 17th, right? We have Nasdaq, we had 2,000 profit. No, we did have a couple of losers, a couple small wins. And oh, did I miss my big one? I didn't.
Yeah, I think it's on this screen. Maybe not. I saw it in there.
I know, I
Here,
saw it too. Now
it's
I
at
don't
the
see it.
top.
26, yeah, right there, 26,000. Right. So I took that one and I just let it ride. 1.5. I just let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. And 4 o'clock, I mean, I could have just let it go lower. It didn't hit my take profit, but I was happy with 50,000 profit. At 100,000, you're just being greedy at that point. You know, it could reverse and go the opposite way. So at that point, don't never be greedy. Try not to be greedy.
So I see that you were like continuing to scale in, on this one.
Right.
What was kind of, going on when you were deciding to continue to size up on this?
So when we take a look at the charts of trading view,
Mm-hmm.
actually, you know what? Let me pull it up right now. So here it is, right? So this is where the news happened after the meeting. So it shut up, as everybody know. My take profit was right here, but like I said, I didn't have my phone, so it originally melted, but then it shut up.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, if we take a look at this level, right, you have this little blue line multiple times. It touched that resistance level and it couldn't break it, right? It touched, went down, touched it, went down, touched it, went down. So again, after the news, after the 4 hour candle couldn't break it, right? We have the with Vic, it couldn't break it. It tried again, it couldn't break it. I knew that that shit is gonna melt. So that's where I started originally when I took my point 0.5 position. That's the biggest one that I closed down. And it was going down. And the next one I took right here, because after I saw that it was there was just very, very little chance that it was gonna go back up. It was gonna go back and retest the bottom right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I took another position here, took another position here, and I believe I closed out somewhere in this area, 15.8, something like that.
So
So I
in your
didn't.
mind, you were pretty much like, I believe that it's gonna hit about 1580, right in that area, 15800, whatever. And you were just continuing to take sells because you're like, screw it, I'm up, and I believe it's gonna fall into that level. So I'm gonna sell into that level, basically.
Yeah, I was 90% sure that that thing was just gonna melt to that level. So now when I'm 90% sure, I have to go. I have to scale in.
Now, what's you have this like level mark that's 1600. What's that based on?
That's from previous levels that I was marking out. It looks like it was from a long time ago. That's why it's so long, the
Mm-hmm.
blue rectangle. So really, there must have been a lot of rejections. So actually, if you see over here, there was quite a few rejections from that level.
Right. So once price like was coming into that level, did you enter on any retests that level, or you just kind of continue to let it go?
I entered quite a few times, and some of the positions were small. They were $5,000, $6,000, something like that. Nothing crazy. But my original position that I entered at the top, I just let it go. I knew it was going to touch that, but I didn't want to over leverage myself with multiple positions. So I would take a position, let it run to 5, 6,000, 10,000. I would close out. Then when it would touch and retest, I would enter another position. Same same type of deal, pretty much.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
that's how we got where we got.
Yeah. So is this like the most profit that you've ever probably made on an account?
Yeah, for sure. It's my biggest day. Like I said, I was just looking at my phone earlier. It was 95,000,
Damn.
if I'm not mistaken. Hold on.
That's a big day.
That, that's a huge day, dude. Yeah, it was 95,000. So
Yeah, that's a big day. So what's kind of, now that this has happened, obviously it's kind of a little bit of a breakthrough in what's going on, right? So where do you kind of go from here, right? Where do you evaluate your trading, your kind of viewpoint on everything? What's your mentality right now after this?
right. So like I said before, right, and don't overtrade. So I got 100,000 that's there. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk much. If I do see very good setups, I might take a trade here and there, but I'm not gonna risk blowing the account, losing my profit. No, I believe this is the biggest profit made so far. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully nobody can beat me.
Yeah.
So we'll keep it for this month and then we'll see what we can make of it next month.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad way to start the year. Pulling
Right.
in pulling in a 75, 80 grand.
Right.
What do you plan to do with, the payout?
Man, everybody got bills. No, obviously, I love this prop firm. I love it that you guys are allowing people to do 600,000 account. After the payout comes in, I'm gonna do another 400,000 challenge. Hopefully everything goes smooth, and we'll go from there. I mean, definitely growing, right? Never stop investing in yourself. Never stop developing yourself. You can always learn more every day, and I'm sure I have a lot more to learn. So that's my plan. With the payoff, there's bills, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of money for my education and to invest in myself.
Nice. Well, congratulations on the payout or on the profit made. The
Right.
payout
Future
hope
payout.
the payout hopefully is gonna come. The payout
Right.
hopefully comes soon, as long as you stick to the rules here. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, no, it's definitely cool to hear, your perspective on kind of how this changes things a little bit. I mean, changes things, but also keeps things the same. It sounds like you're kind of level-headed in regards to, this happening, which is obviously, more positive and probably means there's more of this to come, right? So
Yeah, that's the
you
plan.
got some people that are just getting so excited on getting the funded accounts. They're getting so excited they're making some profits, and then they're having those couple bad days. So there's going to be highs and lows, but you got to just remain neutral, right? You got to remain as neutral as possible. So it's good to hear that that's what's going on. Obviously, good to hear that you want to continue to trade with us. You said you're based out of Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you're based out of the US. But yeah, obviously it was good to connect with you and see. I mean, a huge fucking day, right? Huge day.
Yeah.
So it's just wild to see. And for those that are watching that can't even pass the challenges right now, what would you kind of tell someone who's struggling to pass the challenges? They're not even able to get a funded account, or someone who maybe got a funded account and lost it. What would you kind of give them as advice?
Guys, I've been there. I've done that. Right. I've had multiple accounts. I blew those accounts. Never give up. One thing I can tell you: never give up. It will come. It will take time, but it will come. Don't overtrade. Manage your risk, and it will happen. All you need is a one good $95,000 day.
It's true. I mean, it's true though. What I always told myself, going back to when I was trading and losing some money in the beginning, was always these losses and these lessons and everything, it compounds, over a long period of time. And at some point, within a 3-month period, within a 1-month period, or in your case, within one day, you're gonna all of a sudden have this crazy return. We're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, wow, I was like foolish for even doubting what was going on, because it's like, look at this like crazy amazing thing that just happened, right? So yeah, thanks again for hopping on, for the advice. Hopefully once you get the payout, and training for another few months, get the scaling plan going, we can hop on, do another interview, see where you're at. But yeah, all right, thanks again for hopping on. Wish you happy holidays and all the best.
Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And yeah, we'll do it again. That's the plan.
Let's run it back.